Hey guys, it's Mike here. Welcome back on a Wednesday for another video. This video is a continuation from a video I did yesterday on how to manifest money in your life with law of attraction. Okay, so this is part 2. I got more to share on this today. And I got a lot of phone calls to return today, probably about 70 some phone calls to sort through. So I am going to be busy. But I wanted to bring this video to you here on Wednesday morning. Because folks, I want you to realize this concept that I talked about yesterday and today on this video is probably the 2 most important videos I've ever done so far. Because folks, I want you to realize that on these 2 videos, the one I did yesterday and today, is where a lot of the issues of life spring out from, okay? And I'm going to share with you why on this video people don't manifest the things in their lives they're looking for. I'm going to show you how to manifest money in your life through something called law of attraction. Okay, that's what the world calls it. I'm going to share with you what a different law out of the good book. Okay, same principle. This stuff ain't nothing new. So you may want to take some notes. You may want to pass this video on to somebody that needs it, and the one I did yesterday, because these are 2 very important videos. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can read my shirt here, but it says the best way to predict the future is to create it. To create it, folks. Yes, you can create the future for yourself in your life. Now I got some very important information I want to share with you guys. I got to talk fast to get this all in. You can always rewind the video. You can always watch the video I did yesterday. Okay? And listen up, folks, because this message is a message of liberation. This message is a message of freedom. This message can set the captive free in your life and other people's lives that are watching this message. Are you ready for this? We're going to take a little journey and a little trip today. Are you ready? Check this out. We're going to go to Genesis 8:22, and I'm going to read this to you guys. Are you ready? Okay. And don't listen to the man speaking on this video. Listen to the message. Don't listen to the man, listen to the message. Be open-minded. Do not prejudge. Okay? Genesis 8:22. It's talking about another law, not the law of attraction, but the law of seed time and harvest time. Check this out. You ready for this? Okay, let's start the journey. Genesis 8:22. I'm reading on a King James Version. This is what I read. Genesis 8:22. Genesis 8 verse 22. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest time, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. From the beginning of when the earth was created, folks, we have a law that God set in motion. And I'm not going to get religious on you. Okay, I'm not. I'm just going to share with you what he says. He says in Genesis 8:22, he sets up a law. A law, not the law of attraction, but the law of seed time and harvest time. You see? And in Genesis 8:22, the first portion of this verse says, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest time. See, folks, there's a time to plant. There's a time to grow. And there's a time for a harvest in each and one of our lives. You see? So this happens every day, all day. And we do this stuff, folks, unconsciously, whether we know it or not. See? So there's the law of seed time and harvest time. Okay? So write that verse down. Genesis 8:22. Now I'm going somewhere with this. So watch this. Let's go to Galatians. You know what? Let's go to Mark 4 verse 8. You ready for this? Mark 4 verse 8. And I just want you to write these down and go back through these. Okay? And I want you to let the Spirit of God deal with you guys in your lives about issues, because I'm not your judge. I'm just bringing this to you guys. Okay? Mark 4, verse 28. Now listen. For the earth bringeth forth fruit. We're talking about seed time and harvest time. For the earth bringeth forth fruit of herself. First the blade, right? Then the ear. After that, the full corn in the ear. Mark 4, verse 28. Talking about seed time, planting a seed. But what comes first? Okay, what comes first? The blade, then the ear, and after that, the full corn in the ear. See, that seed has to germinate, be planted, germinate, grow, and then the harvest comes. So write that down, Mark 4:28. Now let's go to Galatians 6, 7, and 8. This is powerful. This is powerful stuff, folks. All right? Don't listen to the man, listen to this message. Galatians 6, 7, verse 8. Be not deceived, God says. God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man, and when it says man, it means man and woman, mankind, soweth, that shall he also reap. Let me read that again. Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man, meaning mankind, soweth, whatever you're sowing, that shall he also reap. Galatians 6, 7, 8. Write that down. So I've shared with you 3 scriptures so far. And we're talking about seed time and harvest time, right? And I got a little drawing here of a farmer, and I'm not the best artist, so please don't prejudge. But this little demonstration is powerful. Watch. Seed time and harvest time. The purpose of a farmer, when he goes out, this is my little farmer here. I don't know if you can see that. But he's got seed he's planting into the ground. See? So the farmer goes out, and this is a farmer for this demonstration. But I would say to you guys that you are the farmer as well of your life. So this is a picture of you, me, and this message is for me just like anybody else. I need to apply this more in my life. So I'm preaching to myself today as well. So here's a picture of my farmer. I don't know how good you can see this, but you are the farmer of your life as well. Now watch. The farmer goes out into a field or a garden, and he plants seed into the soil. Seed into the soil. But the thing is, the farmer, who is this farmer right here, and you're the farmer of your life, takes seed. See, he has to go out with seed. And he can plant good seed or bad seed, right? Into the ground. Well, I profess to you, okay, that you're the farmer of your life, and you are planting seeds. Seeds. Okay? Now, what are the seeds you're planting in your life? It's the thoughts that you're planting into the garden. The garden. Where is the garden or soil of your life? It's your mind. So you're letting thoughts, whether you know this or not, which are the seeds, to come in and be planted, folks, in the garden or the soil of your life, the garden of your life, which is your mind. Okay? And there's 2 types of thoughts or forces in this universe. There's thoughts or forces of light and darkness. Those type of 2 thoughts. There's good thoughts and there's evil thoughts. There's positive thoughts and negative thoughts. Just like a magnet. Your body is like a magnet. Okay? There's 2 poles on a magnet. Positive and negative. North Pole, South Pole. Okay? Positive thoughts and negative thoughts. See? There's faith thoughts over here on the good side. Thoughts of light. And there's fear and doubt thoughts that are the darkness thoughts. See? There's thoughts of love and there's thoughts of hatred. Thoughts of peace. Thoughts of stress over here on the bad negative side. There's thoughts of joy and there's thoughts of sadness. You see? So the farmer here, which is you, goes out with seed. 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 And that seed is planted every day, every hour, every minute in forms of thoughts in our lives that we let into our garden or our sandbox. You see, the mind is the battleground. So the farmer goes out with seed, and he wants to go out with good seed, not bad seed. And what does he want to do? He wants to plant that seed, that good seed, into the ground. Folks, if you want a good harvest, you got to plant good seed, good thoughts, into the garden of your mind, into the soil of your life, your head, your mind, your brain, to get a good harvest. This is a corn stalk right here. So the farmer needs good seed to plant into good ground and good soil to get a good harvest. So if you want a good harvest in your life, you got to plant the thoughts that are good instead of evil into your life to get a good harvest. So the farmer goes out with his good seed and he plants his good seed in good soil. Okay? And as he plants that good seed in good ground, that seed grows. It grows. But remember, Mark 4:28. Mark 4:28. This is powerful stuff. Watch. Let me read it to you again. Go to Mark 4:28. You see? He plants the seed in the ground. But guess what? Mark 4:28. The earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, but what comes first? First comes that little blade. You see that little blade springing up out of the ground right there? Then the ear. See, there's little ears on this little stalk coming up. So first the blade, then the ear. And after that, the full corn in the ear. These are ears of corn that have now come to fruition. So first the blade, then the ear, then the full corn in the ear. But when the fruit is brought forth, verse 29 of Mark 4:29, 28 and 29 is what I need to put up there. For when the earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, first the blade, then the ear, after that the full corn in the ear. That's Mark 4:28. And verse 29 says, but when the fruit is come forth, immediately he, meaning the farmer, putteth in the sickle, because the harvest is come. Folks, you don't get the harvest in your life until first you plant the seed in your mind, and then that seed starts coming up in the form of a blade, and then it comes up a little bit bigger, and then maybe a week, a month later, you get a harvest. See, when that farmer plants that seed, he knows not in 24 hours he's going to see anything. He knows within a week he's probably not going to see anything. But in a month down the road, he's going to see that little seed spring up. That little corn seed. And it's going to grow, right? And then eventually he knows in 3 months down the road or 4 months, whatever, he's going to get a harvest in his life from what he planted in the soil. You see that? So here's what happens. The farmer plants the seed in the ground, the seed grows, and it eventually reaps a harvest. But I tell you, you're the farmer of your life, and you are planting seeds into your life every minute, every day, every minute, every hour, every month, every year of your life. And those thoughts can be positive thoughts or negative thoughts. Okay? It's the law of seed time and harvest time. Man just calls it the law of attraction. It's a different terminology that they coin. Okay? But it's the same concept. Now listen. This is how it works. The farmer is you. You plant seeds, or you allow seeds, whether it's good or bad thoughts, to come into your head, which is the soil or garden of your life. And those seeds start springing up. They grow. See? You sow in to the garden of your life. You sow into the garden of your life in your head, in your mind. That's the garden or soil, folks, of your life. But those thoughts grow. And they end up manifesting from your head to your heart. Because it's with the heart you believe and receive, and manifest in your life. And you get a harvest as you take seed, good thoughts or bad thoughts, you plant them in your mind, or you let them in, whether you know it or not. Okay? And that seed grows. Those thoughts grow and you meditate on them, and you meditate on them, and you feel a certain way, and you believe a certain way, and then you manifest a certain way, folks. Folks, the problem is too many people are letting the wrong seeds, the negative seeds of doubt, fear, evil thoughts, negative thoughts, fear, hatred, stress, sadness. Someone cuts them off when they're in traffic going to work, and they say, you so-and-so, and blah, 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 blah. And they let that play in their head. And they let that anger rise up inside them. Well, guess what? They let that evil thought, the negative anger thought, be planted in their head. And baby, I'm going to tell you what. When you let the negative in, you are setting yourself up for a harvest in your life. Just like this farmer plants a seed to get a harvest. You're letting those things in. Me, you, whoever. So we got to check up from the neck up, folks, of our thoughts. And it's also what we speak out of our mouth. Do you realize that? It's also what we speak out of our mouth. You know why? When God created the heavens and the earth, what did he do? First, God had a thought. It starts with a thought. And then God spoke. See? He had a thought of creating creation, didn't he? And then after he thought, God had a thought of doing something, then he spoke it into existence. And he said, let there be light. See? That's powerful. He had a thought, then he spoke it, and then it manifested. You see, we are made in the likeness and image of God. And the Bible says in Genesis 1, 26 and 27, this stuff will blow your mind, folks. Genesis 1, 26 and 27. And God said in Genesis 1, 26 and verse 27, and God said, let us make man, meaning mankind, in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Okay, so in Genesis 1:26, God said, let us make man in our image. In our image, meaning Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Let us make man, meaning mankind, in our image. So God made us in his image. And what is God? God is a creator, the creator, and he made us in his image. So if God made us in his image and he's the creator, what must we be? We must be creators. Why? Because we're made in his image. So God created us to have thoughts, to speak those thoughts, and to manifest those thoughts into existence. You may not believe this stuff, but I'm telling you that our God image of who we are created to create things in our life, and we can do it because we're created in his image to do it. See? A lot of people don't believe this stuff, that you can have a thought, you can speak it into existence like God did and have it manifest in your life. This is powerful stuff, okay? So now, with that being said, all day, every day, it's the law of seed time and harvest time. Man just terms it a different thing. They call it the law of attraction. But it's the law of seed time and harvest time, right? So, Galatians 6, 7, 8. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. People do this, folks, and they don't even know what's going on. They allow these negative thoughts. That's where it all starts. Because that's where it starts with God. God had a thought. And then he spoke that thought, let there be light. He had a thought of creating creation. So he thought the thought, then he spoke the thought into existence, and it manifested. See, folks, in 2018 and beyond, we got to check up from the neck up. We got to check up on what we're thinking. We got to check up on what we're speaking into other people's lives. Because what we think and what we speak can bring forth a harvest. in our life, whether it's a good harvest or a bad harvest. See, this stuff is important. So I've covered with you Genesis 8:22, the law of seed time and harvest time. Okay? Galatians 6, 7, 8. See? Mark 4:28 and 29. Let me add that. Okay? Now, let me go to Mark 11, 23, 24. Mark 11, 23 and 24. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, not his head, his heart, but shall believe that those things which believe that those things which he saith. So you can speak it out of your mouth, like God did. Shall come to pass. He shall have whatsoever he saith. So the Bible's saying here, if you believe what you speak, okay? If you believe the things which you speak or saith, and you don't doubt in your heart, but you'll believe that the things that you say shall come to pass, the Bible says, ye shall have whatsoever you saith. He saith. He or she. Now, so the Bible says, literally, you can speak things, and if you believe them and don't doubt, you can bring them into manifestation. And verse Mark 11:24 says, Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, not before or after ye pray, when ye pray, meaning in the present tense. Okay, when you pray, you always pray in the present tense. When ye pray, believe. Believe that ye receive. Believe when? That ye receive, present tense, not in the past or the future. When ye pray, believe that ye receive them in the present, in the here and now, and ye shall have them. See, God says if you believe in the present, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them in the here and now, and ye shall have them. Not in the future, not in the past. Read it. It's right there. Mark 11, 23, 24. And it's in red, baby. So what's it? When it's in red, that's the man talking. So we better listen. So that's Mark 11, 23, 24. Okay? So now, see, you got to believe. It's with the head you think. But eventually, when you meditate on it, folks, it eventually gets down and you visualize things in the present that you want from your future to happen, to come into the present. When you think it and you meditate on it, you eventually have feelings. And as you meditate on it and believe you have it in the here and now, the harvest comes because you believe in your heart. Just like that farmer plants that seed in the ground, knowing in the future he's going to get a harvest, and he knows it. If you plant the right seeds, folks, in the right ground of your mind, that seed's going to grow and produce a harvest. Woo! This stuff is powerful. So the key is for you to think the right thoughts and meditate upon the right thoughts of what you want in the here and now. Even if it's in your future, you can put a mandate on it and bring what you want in your future, in your present. The Bible says if you believe in the here and now, you can receive it. You can receive it, right? Now, remember, Mark 4:28, first the blade, then the ear, then the full corn in the ear, right? There you go. It springs up a little at a time, but it eventually brings forth the harvest, so you got to be patient. Now I need to talk fast because I want another verse brought out. Matthew 4:30, Matthew 4:14. No, Matthew 14. Matthew 14. Check this out. This is the story of Peter. Matthew 14:30. Okay, check this out. Matthew 14:30, where Peter walks on the water. Matthew 14, verse 30. But when he saw, okay, let me go back here. Matthew 14, verse 28. Okay? And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me to come walk on the water. And he said, come. And when Peter was come out of the boat, out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. Now, Matthew 14:30 says, but when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately, chapter 14, verse 31, and immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? Listen, listen. Peter got out of the boat. See, and as long as he kept his eyeballs on the promised one, he walked on the water. And he didn't sink, despite the circumstances or problems, or the boisterous wind around him, or the raging sea. So as long as he kept his eyes on the promised one, the Christ, right? He walked on the water. But when he got his eyeballs on the cares and the wind around him and the raging sea, he began to sink. See, too many people, folks, got their eyes on their cares and their problems going on around them and people sinking around them. They got their eyes on what they see, their problems, instead of keeping their eyes on the promised one and the promises of God. Because if you keep your eyes on the promises of God and on the promised one, you can walk through the water. You can walk on the water and through the problems and cares and circumstances in life. Because you got your eyes on the promises, baby, not the problem. Folks, too many people got their eyes on the problem. And they wonder why they're sinking. They wonder why their foundation is on sinking sand. Because see, when Peter got his eyes, when he saw, see, he went by what he's seen with his physical senses. And he got himself off the promised one, the Christ, and got his eyes on his problems and circumstances going on around him, and he started sinking. Folks, if you want to walk on the water, you got to keep your head and your thoughts focused on the promises, not your promises, not your problems. I'm sorry. You got to keep your thoughts focused on the promises, not your problems. See, that's the first problem, is people got their thoughts focused on, instead of thoughts of light, they got their thoughts focused on thoughts of darkness. Instead of having good thoughts, they're letting evil thoughts into their mind. They're letting the wrong seed be planted into the garden or soil of their mind. And they're wondering why they're getting a bad harvest, because they're letting bad seed into the soil or garden or ground, their mind, of their life, and it's producing, and if you let this go, it's going to produce, guess what it's going to produce? A bad harvest, baby. So the key is to keep your thoughts on thoughts of good, not of evil, thoughts of light, not on darkness, positive thoughts, not negative thoughts, faith thoughts, not fear thoughts. Look what Peter did. Listen to what Jesus told him. Why didst thou doubt? O ye of little faith. See, he got his eyes off the promised ones, off the promised one, and got his eyes on the negative, on the wind, on the raging sea, and it caused him to be fearful. Okay? And Jesus responded and says, O ye of little faith, why didst you doubt? See, you gotta believe and start walking in faith instead of fear, like Peter did when he got his eyes on the problems. See, you get your eyes on your problems and you start looking at what's around you, you're gonna start walking in fear, because you're gonna look at the problems around you, okay? And you're gonna start sinking, because your thoughts need to be stayed and focused in faith on the promises of God. Right? And when you do, you can walk in faith because of what the promises say, and you can walk on the water, baby. as you keep your thoughts and the words you speak out of your mouth positive, not negative. Because why? As a man sows, Galatians 6, 7, 8, so he shall reap. Seed time and harvest time, since the earth has begun. Folks, we got to start thinking the right thoughts. We got to start speaking the right words like God spoke. And we got to start manifesting in the way we was created to do so we can operate in the principles of God in 2018 and beyond, instead of the principles of the world, which is the negative. Hello, somebody. Is anybody getting a witness on what I'm sharing on this video? Do you guys want to walk on the water? You're going to start planting like this farmer, good seed in the ground of your mind to get a good harvest in your heart. Because it's with your heart you're going to start believing, whether it's positive or negative, good or evil thoughts. Those thoughts are going to spring up. First the blade, then the ear, then the full corn in the ear, which is the harvest. And we wonder why we're manifesting chaos in our life. You can create the life you want to live, because the best way to predict the future is to create it, baby. You were created to create whatever lifestyle you want to live. And like in the last video I told you, you can create your own heaven or your own hell right here on earth. You don't have to wait to heaven or hell when you pass to start living like heaven or hell. You can have it right here on earth. Why? Because he came to give his life, and life more abundantly. You can have this super abundant overflowing life, baby. He wants to pour it out in your life more than you want it. But he gives you free will to choose if you're going to plant good seed or bad seed. Are you going to plant the promises of God in your head to get a good harvest? Or are you going to let the negative stuff that comes down the pike enter into your mind, enter into your playground, enter into the garden and the soil of your life? And are you going to let that stuff bring forth a bad harvest in your life? This stuff is powerful. This stuff is a message. This message is a message of liberation. This message is a message of freedom. This message is a message of deliverance into your life in this day and hour in 2018 and beyond. Keep this video. Share it with somebody that needs it, that's going through struggles in their life. We were created in the likeness and image of God to create, folks, by our thoughts, by what we speak, and what we manifest in our lives. I hope you've liked this video today. You can watch the video I did yesterday. I talked more about what we think, but it's what we think with our thoughts. It's what we speak with our mouth, folks. And what we think and what we speak can manifest things in our life and bring the harvest, like this farmer, into reality. This is important stuff. We got to check up from the neck up. We got to stop this stinking thinking. We got to stop speaking things out of our mouth that's negative towards people, whether it's our friends, our family members, could be a stranger. We got to stop thinking and speaking things sporadically, cutting people down, whether it's a friend, a family member, it could be a spouse, a husband, our kids. We don't want to speak the negative on people we care about. I hope you take some heart to this message. You wonder why you're operating in poverty and money's not coming into your life. You got to start speaking the positive. I am rich. I am abundant. I am made in the likeness and image of God to not lack. You got to visualize and see that money coming to you, baby. You got to visualize and see yourself super abundant. Body, soul, spirit. You can have it all. I hope you've liked this video. Go ahead and share this video, like it, pass it on to people. The best way to create your future is to create it yourself. He created you to walk in superabundance. But you got to discipline yourself, and you got to do this stuff and implement it into your life. No one's responsible but you. Have a super day, and bye for now.